What do you know? What do you know, YouTube? Tell y'all what I know. Sitting in Kansas waiting to get unloaded. And I got a little time because apparently there's like lumpers and stuff, so it's gonna be a little while before I get unloaded. So, figured I'd knock out a load update, get y'all caught up with what has happened and where I'm at. So, we left off. I unloaded in Marietta, Oklahoma. You know, this is my short week. Going home on Friday, you know. Today's Friday. So, you know, had the little mishap with the load on Monday. Kind of put a damper on the week. Trying to play catch up a little bit. So, from Marietta, I deadheaded 78 miles over to Irving, Texas. And in Irving, Texas, I pull onto this yard. It's supposed to be a live load. I can see that this is clearly it's a Schneider customer. Like, there are Schneider trailers everywhere. So I was kind of surprised it was a live load and not a dropping hook. You know, while I was waiting in line, I was like, man, like, a live load just didn't seem, it didn't seem like that's what I was going to end up doing. I get to the guard shack and they tell me to drop my trailer and then go check in with the shipping office. So, all right, no big deal. My live load's turning into a dropping hook. I go check in with the shipping office, give them my load numbers, and they kind of do their thing. And then they tell me, they said, well, this is not a Schneider load. I said, all right. They verified it was a load going to Lafayette, Louisiana. I said, yeah, Lafayette, Louisiana. They said, yeah, this is not a Schneider load. So they informed me that there's a Schneider office right on down the hallway, and that I probably need to go check with them and find out what's going on. So I go down the hall, talk to the guy in that office. He pulls it up. He says, yeah, this is not a lane we run. I said, well, it was on the load board. I picked it. Everything looked good. So he kind of messages back and forth with somebody on the computer. Tells me that they're going to pull me off of it. It's not a Schneider load. So I'm like, great. Here I am again. Wednesday. This has happened to me twice now. Not necessarily the same circumstances, but once again, 2 times, same week. It's supposed to be my short week. So at this point, I'm like, I just want to throw my hands up and be like, what the crap, man? So I go make the phone call, and they basically tell me, you know, they're going to pull me off of it. Fortunately for me, this time I didn't have any other loads planned, so there's no pre-plans. But I'm sitting in Irving, Texas, Wednesday at right around 11, and so I'm right back on the load board. I'm scrambling now. I'm like, man, this is not good. Like, this is supposed to be my short week, you know, but generally I make money still on my short week, you know. So at this point, I'm not finding anything. So I decide then I'm gonna run over to the closest Pilot Flying J. I'm gonna go get a hot shower. I'm gonna regather my thoughts and kind of back up from the situation a little bit, because at this point, I ain't felt good in like 2 weeks. You know, I'm not in the greatest mindset as it is. So I understand that I need to back up from the situation and not make drastic decisions, because at this point I'm frustrated. I'm ready to just hit the hard reset, call it a week, go to the house, and I know that that's not the best business decision though. So I go back up from, I go to the truck stop, I take a minute, I back up from the situation. So how am I going to salvage this week is my thoughts now. So I sat there for a few hours. I kept looking, could never find anything that would work for me. Then after sitting for a couple hours, I had found a load, a couple of loads that I could piece together. But it was going to require me to deadhead from Irving, Texas up to Oklahoma City. So I wasn't really too upset about it because I could deadhead back to Oklahoma City, go spend the night at home, kind of recharge my batteries a little bit, and then grab that load the next morning, which is what I did. So I deadheaded from Irving back up to Oklahoma City. And then from Oklahoma City, I grabbed a load going back down to Dallas. Now, my miles on this is kind of a little skewed because I didn't really track them too well because of the whole, with everything going on, I was a little flustered. But I will say, I did reset my trip meter before I left Marietta, so I do know what my total miles of running around was. So, load from Oklahoma City was a drop and hook to Dallas, which was a drop and hook. Total miles, after everything was all said and done, from Marietta to Irving, Irving back up to Oklahoma City back down to Dallas, was 533 miles. Now, the load only weighed 15,600 pounds is what the paperwork showed. I don't think it weighed anywhere near that. But, load paid $643.32. Now, if you just go on that, and then based on my miles, it's only $1.20 a mile. But if you think about the fact that they put $150 on there, so that takes my total to $793.32, which puts my rate per mile at $1.48. Now, on that V&L that they do, the way they do that, though, is they apply it to the last load you delivered, because the load that you're currently on, they're pulling off of you now. So they can't apply it to that. They have to apply it to the previous load. So like Monday morning, that 150 that they took, it didn't get applied to the Marietta load. It got applied to the previous load, which I had already closed the week out. So, for numbers' sake, if I wanted to, I could have applied it to the Marietta load. I mean, you can kind of do it however you want to do it. But to make me feel better about this load here, I applied it to this load here. So, $1.48 a mile, $793.32. Load weighed 15,600 pounds. Now from Dallas, they had me drop my load. They had me drop that load, then bobtail 5 miles to another location in Dallas. Now from that location, I deadheaded 2 miles right around the corner to another location and picked up a load that was going to Goddard, Kansas, which is where I'm at currently. So Goddard, Kansas, 373 loaded miles, puts me at a total of 380 miles. This load weighs 25,269 pounds, and the load weighed the load paid $655.02. So that's a rate per mile of $1.72. So, not a terrible rate, not a great rate, but I'm kind of in that salvage mode. I'm just trying to salvage what I can out of this week. So, I'm throwing these little short, what I call short hops together, trying to make something happen. When that happens to you, there's not really a lot left on the board. So you're kind of stuck or put in a position where it's just, you're kind of scrambling, trying to find whatever you can at that point. So, and that's what I'm doing at this moment. I'm just scrambling, trying to piece together what I can. I'm sitting in Goddard, Kansas, Friday morning. And I'm still trying to do what I can to close out my week the best that I can. I do have something else. I've got a couple little short hops still planned. I won't make it home. I'll probably be home Saturday morning this week. Not exactly ideal, but I also don't want to chalk this week up as a loss. So I'm doing what I can to make it happen. So that's it on this load. I got I got 2 more loads before the end of the week on this. So I'll have another load update and we'll recap the week. See if I was able to pull off something, you know. At this point, anything's better than nothing. So yeah. So like always, y'all hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good day.